Well, folks, I'm having a hard time right now. And the reason why I'm having a hard time is because it seems to me, and I know that you all know this already, but, the fucking evidence of it is just piling up right and left. Um, I'm disgusted at this point. And I'm disgusted because Stephen Avery has a constitutional right. Him and Brendan Dassey have a constitutional right to a fair and speedy trial in front of a jury of their peers, and for certain constitutional laws to stay in place to ensure that they have a fair hearing. Right? Right. Okay. Well, here's the thing though, folks. So Dean Strang and Jerry Buting filed a motion to change venue. Now, for those of you that don't know what that basically means is they filed a motion in court to have the trial moved from Manitowoc County to another county to be tried there, away from where Kratz had poisoned the jury pool. This is standard procedure when you are operating in a small town and everybody's heard the bullshit and the scuttlebutt and, what basically that means is that if there's a chance that you're not going to get a fair trial because everybody's already heard some bullshit that you did it, you can have your attorney motion to change venue, and then they'll take it to a different county where, perhaps there's not as many people who heard the shit. You know what I mean? Okay, so, of course, we all know what happened with that, but this has got me so incensed, I want to slap somebody. Now, before I begin on this, I would like to point out that I do feel for the Halbach family. I really do. I cannot imagine what they went through at the time. I can't imagine what they're going through now. I can't imagine. I don't want to imagine. I'm one of those parents that's like, no, I don't want to think about my child being hurt. I totally get it. But this was kind of greasy. And the reason why I say that is this is an affidavit of Tim Halbach regarding defendant's motion for change of venue. And it's basically Teresa's brother telling the court why it would be a hardship on his family to change the venue for Stephen Avery. Your affiant, which basically means the petitioner, the person filing this. Your affiant is the brother of the victim in the above captioned case, Teresa Halbach, and is intimately familiar with the circumstances of the entire Halbach family and circumstances surrounding the prosecution of the defendant, Stephen Avery. Number 2, as an attorney, you sneaky fucker. As an attorney, your affiant is aware that each member of the Halbach family is considered a crime victim and entitled to rights as set forth in Chapter 950 of the Wisconsin statutes. Your affiant is also aware that crime victims' rights are constitutionally protected in the state of Wisconsin, blah, blah, blah. Tim, and basically anybody, I agree that crime victims' rights are constitutionally protected, but with all due respect, your ass is not the one in a sling. Stephen Avery also has constitutional rights. And his constitutional rights were violated, jumped upon, and then shat on by Ken Kratz. And as a result of that, his constitutional rights need to be protected, and the venue needs to be changed so that he can have a fair motherfucking hearing. I'm sorry if that bothers you. Among those rights that the Halbach family are entitled to, your affiant is aware that the family members have a right to have their interests considered when the court decides whether to grant a continuance of the case, to attend the court proceedings in the case, and a speedy disposition of the case in which they are involved as a victim. Your affiant is also aware that the legislative intent regarding rights extended to a crime victim under Chapter 950 shall be monitored and protected by judges in a manner no less vigorous than the protections afforded criminal defendants. Except for one minor problem, folks. Stephen Avery's rights were not protected at all. Brendan Dassey's even less so. And that's the true crux of this case, is his rights were not protected, and the rights of the state of Wisconsin, and specifically the Halbach family, were the only rights protected. And I'm sorry, but that's not how we do things around here. That's not how we do things in this country. That is not the American way. Or at least theoretically, that's not how it's supposed to be. It's really fucking shitty that that is the way it is. And I mean to change it. That if the defendant requests a change of venue, the Halbach family requests the court, in lieu of changing the place of trial, require the selection of a jury from another county and have the trial itself proceed in Manitowoc County. Now, see, that I actually support. And why they didn't go with that, I don't know. That would have made the most sense. Of course, that would have cost the county money to have to sequester that jury and pay for their food and lodging for the entirety of the trial, which I'm willing to bet is why they didn't do it. Because they're cheap motherfuckers, and God forbid they do anything right. Then he goes on to state how Teresa's parents own a dairy farm and they just cannot go any farther than Manitowoc County. Teresa's sisters are in school and they're in extracurricular activities, and therefore the parents don't feel comfortable leaving them by themselves for extended lengths of time, which is totally understandable. Then he talks about how Mike is employed by the Green Bay Packers, blah, blah, blah. And then how Tim himself is employed with a law firm in Chilton and intends to be present, and how it would mess with his work schedule, yada, yada, yada. Not to sound rude or anything, but I really don't fucking care. There is a man's life on the line. He didn't do this. The investigation was not done properly, so therefore the killer of Teresa Halbach is still out there. And not only that, but Stephen Avery's rights have every bit as much protection as yours do. In fact, they should be slightly more protected because he's the one with his ass in a sling. Your affiant is aware that many Halbach extended family members intend to be present for a portion of most or all of the jury trial held in this matter, and should the trial be moved to a remote county, hardship on the Halbach family would be obvious and substantial. Well, cry me a fucking river, sweetheart. How would you like to be sent up the fucking river for the rest of your life? Would that inconvenience you? Because that's what happened to Stephen Avery. But this is my favorite part. The Halbach family has designated Mike Halbach as the representative of the family for purposes of making public statements. And the Halbach family has purposefully attempted not to make any inflammatory statements in the media directed against the defendant, Stephen Avery, and have remained respectful of the criminal justice process, and the Halbach family intends to maintain that posture. Except for one minor problem. Mike did make inflammatory statements. He was taunting every fucking time he stepped in front of a camera. He reveled in it. He couldn't help himself but state to the camera, oh yeah, Stephen Avery fucking did it, and we know he did. How is that due process? What the fuck? Mike did not follow a single fucking bit of that at all. He just said, no, I'm just going to fucking say whatever the hell I want. Tim, you would have been a better choice as spokesperson because then as an attorney, you would know better. I'm just saying. Good fucking Lord, people. All right. So don't forget to go to Facebook, #JusticeForBryant. On there, you should find all the information for the GoFundMe campaign. Please donate a little bit to that. Scott is in desperate need of some assistance. Also, don't forget our Kickstarter campaign has started for Get a Clue TV. I'll go ahead and include that link down below. I'll include the link for this. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, MamaPhoenix6. And thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you soon.